New build homes, new construction, builder homes. There's so many names to call new construction homes. And one thing for sure, they're getting very, very popular, especially in the Tyler, Texas and surrounding areas. There are so many good things about new build homes, but there's also a couple of things that you should know if you are planning on buying one of them. If you're planning on moving to Tyler, Texas and the surrounding areas, and you're contemplating buying a new construction home and you want to know the pros and cons, then this one's for you. Howdy everyone, and welcome back to the channel. For everyone new here, my name is Ronnie Withers, and if you want to know what it's like to live, eat, sleep, work and play in Tyler, Texas and the surrounding areas, then go ahead and smash that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so you would be first to be notified on any Tyler, Texas market updates. My team and I are getting calls every single day of people just like you who are looking to either move to Tyler, move within Tyler, or sell their Tyler home. So if that does sound like you, please reach out, go ahead, give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email. We'll hop on a call and we will get you into your dream Tyler home. So new construction homes have been getting really popular in the last couple of years just because of how popular Tyler and the surrounding areas have been becoming. I've seen a lot of new build homes and I've actually helped a lot of people buy new build homes in this area. So there are a lot of pros, but there's also a couple of cons with buying a new build or new construction home, which is what I'm going to go over today. So here are my 6 pros and 6 cons on buying a new build or new construction house compared to maybe a little bit older, a little bit more lived in home. So we'll start off with our first pro, which is going to be you just get that new feel. Have you ever bought a brand new car and you get in it after you've bought it and it just has that new car smell? That's very similar with a new build house. Call me silly for thinking it or whatever, whether it just be what it looks like, but to walk into a home, to smell the fresh paint that the builder has just put on, to see everything brand new, to know that you are the first people living in that house ever. It's a different feeling than buying a pre-lived in home. Not saying either one is better than the other, but you do get a special feeling when you walk into a house, you get given the keys for the first time, you walk into the house and it is just a brand new home. Whether it feels like a brand new start for you, to you, it feels better to have that new feel. Some people it does, and you definitely get that with the brand new build house. Now, it may sound pretty obvious, but there's a lot of emotional decisions you're weighing up when you buy a house. And just keep this one in mind. You're going to get that new feel when you buy a brand new construction home. Our first con is going to be related to the builder. Now, because so many new build houses are being built nowadays, it also means in the business side of things, there's a lot of new build builders that are coming into the works. People who have a lot of experience building houses, who have been builders their whole careers and are really knowledgeable and really good. But then we also have people who think they can make a quick buck building a house. And yes, there are some barriers of entry to becoming a home builder, and you do need a little bit of knowledge, but anyone could really become a home builder. As long as you have the money, you have investors or whatever, you can build a home. So because of this, there's a wide spectrum of quality and the builders you're going to get. There's some companies out there that build homes as they're living. They have a structured process. They have different team members. They have salespeople. They have finance people. They have the builders themselves. And these companies are usually really good. For example, in the Tyler area, we've got people like Hunt Homes. We have Conaway Homes. We have places like that who are really good builders. They can't do enough to help you. Any step on the process, they will have someone reaching out and helping you. And if anything isn't up to your liking, they will work with you to make sure these things change. And when you buy that house, you know that when you step into it, it's going to be pristine. It's going to be up to your standard, and it's going to be, I'm not going to say perfect because you can never really get perfect, but it's going to be as close to perfect as possible. These are the really good builders, and there are a lot of good builders out there. And you don't have to be a part of a huge company. There's some smaller builders, individual builders that are really good as well, that have a good track record. But on the other side of that, there are going to be some builders out here who maybe this is the first home they're building. Maybe they're just not a very good builder. Maybe they leave things really messy. Maybe when you close, you're going to have a load of trash on your property, things aren't going to be done right of high quality. Don't be too scared, because there are factors in play. There are standards that we hold the builders to, and for example, a lot of the new builds have to have a certificate of occupancy at the end, which means everything's up to code. So we hold builders to that standard. That's why it's really important to do your homework. Get a good real estate agent who knows the good builders in the area and knows the bad builders as well, and maybe can lead you in a different direction if you're going to be dealing with a bad builder. There's also good steps you can take when you're under contract. Definitely get a home inspection. This is one thing people ask, why do I need a home inspection if it's a brand new home? Like I said, not all builders are the same, so it's always a good idea to get a home inspection by a licensed home inspector. He or she will bring out all the main things about the house, the foundation, the roof, and they will bring up any bad workmanship and craftsmanship. And if it's really bad, you can go directly to the builder and have the conversation then. All in all, a wide spectrum of quality of builders, quality of work. So just make sure you are going with a good builder. The next pro is going to be the neighborhood. Now, because how it normally works with a new build house is developers buy a big plot of land, acres and acres, and then they subdivide it and then sell the land to the builder, and then the builder builds the home. Now, because of this, once all the building has been done, you're going to be left with a nice new modern neighborhood. Like a lot of the videos where I do neighborhood tours in the Tyler area, the new build neighborhoods seem to be really nice, really fresh. A lot of the times there's sidewalks, all of the houses look really nice and well kept, and it's just a great thing to look at. So most of the time, not all the time, most of the time when you're buying a new build house, you're going to know that you're going to be in a really nice looking neighborhood, and it can be something that you are proud of when you go on your evening or morning walks. Now, along those lines, it kind of leads us into a con as well, that unless you were the very last home to be built in a neighborhood, you are going to be living with some construction, quite a lot of construction for an unforeseen amount of time. Just think, if you were the first home to be built in a subdivision, you're going to have a year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, depending on how big the development is, of new build houses being built around you. So normally this isn't a huge deal. Normally they don't make too much noise, but you are going to be hearing trucks driving by. You're going to be hearing pouring, mixing, drilling, sawing, anything that you can think of with construction, you're going to be hearing for a little bit, and it's just up to you whether you can push past that time of construction to live in a beautiful neighborhood at the end. The next pro about buying a new build house is you may have some choice and the ability to customize some of the finishes of the homes. Now, I'm not talking about a completely customized home that you're going to go to a home builder to do from the ground up. That's a different video. I'm talking about there's times where when you go under contract with the home, with the builder, the house is about 70 to 80% done. So when this happens, you go under contract and then the builder will give you a selection sheet. For example, flooring, tiles, backsplash, things of those nature. They'll give you a selection or they'll give you a budget. You can go and you can choose the finishes you want, whether you want brushed nickel finishes, whether you want chrome finishes, things like that. You may have a choice to customize those things, which is a great thing that you don't have when you're just buying a pre-existing home. So you can somewhat customize the home without having to pay the fee and pay the custom home builder to build your home from the ground up, which is pretty cool. Not all homes you can do this. Some homes are already 100% done and you don't have any choice. But the homes that you're going to buy or go under contract with when they're 70 to 80% done, you may have a choice in finishes. That doesn't mean you can completely change everything. You can only change a couple of things, but just keep that in mind. And then also that again turns into a con a little bit, that if you're going under contract with a home that isn't 100% done, then there is some unpredictability when it comes to the closing date. Normally, the builder can be pretty certain when, especially if it's a good builder, their timelines, when they've got all their contractors in and when they think they can be done by. But in this business, things come up. There's delays in materials, there's delays in workers, and this can really push the closing date. So if you have a really tight schedule and you need to be in that house in a certain date, or you lose money, or you can't find lodging and housing, then it may not be the best option to buy a new construction house that isn't 100% done. I had one I've just sold, but we went on a contract with it months ago, and it just got delayed and delayed and delayed, and it just was pushed past the closing date. And there's a lot of unpredictability, and with unpredictability becomes more stress, more anxiety, and it's already a high emotion thing, buying a house, a big life-changing event. You want to keep that stress and anxiety to a minimum. If you haven't got a timeline and it can just be done whenever, then go ahead, buy a house that's 80, 90% done. But there may be some unpredictability when it comes to finishing new build houses that aren't 100% done yet. One of my favorite cons when it comes to new build homes are builder incentives. What builder incentives are is normally the bigger companies that are home builders, they have a bit of money that can be spent to get you to buy the new build home. This usually comes in two main ways that they do this. The first one, and the most common, is they offer money towards your closing costs. And this will usually be said before you put an offer in. So for example, the builder offers $10,000 towards closing costs, which for a lot of people, $10,000 is around what your closing costs are going to be with a new build home. Don't quote me on that. But that could mean that you basically pay nothing in closing costs. Now that's really helpful, because that means most of your money is just going to be into the loan. So you're going to be buying that house with very little out of pocket money, which is a really good thing. Not all builders offer this, but if builders are offering some money that is called concessions in the real estate world, then that's a really good thing, and you're going to be having less money out of your pocket at the closing table. The other way builders have incentives, sometimes they offer to pay down your rate of your loan. Now, what this does, and I've had this once before, where the interest rate was, the average interest rate of the country was around 6.5%. Now the builder, this was a huge company, so they had a lot of money to do this, but they paid down my client's rate from a 6.5 to 3.8, I believe. So now for the rest of his loan term, he is only paying 3.8% in interest compared to that 6.5%. Now, like I said, not all builders do this. Not all builders have enough money to do this, but sometimes the bigger companies, they do this. So be on the lookout for builders that are offering to pay down your rate, because that is a really, really good incentive, and you are going to save a lot of money over the term of your loan. The next con is going to go back to the neighborhood. Like I talked about earlier, you're going to be in a really, really nice neighborhood when it's all done, but you have got to read the restrictions when it comes to the neighborhood of the new build home you're buying, because a lot of people are against being in an HOA, a homeowners association. Some people don't care. If you are against being in an HOA, you have to really look into the fine print of these neighborhoods, because at the moment, if they are not 100% done with all the new homes that they're building, there may be no HOA. However, in the restrictions, a lot of these places do say that they have the right to, once this neighborhood is completely built, they have the right to impose a mandatory HOA. So if you are 100% against HOAs, look at this fine print, because you may find yourself have bought a new build home, you're moved in, and then when they're done in a year or two, you're in an HOA. So just read this fine print, and this is something that your real estate agent can get for you. The restrictions of that subdivision that you're moving to, just read it. Make sure there's no terms or wording in there that says that an HOA could be made after all the homes are built. A very big pro from buying straight from a builder, a new build home, is some builders, a lot of builders, provide a builder warranty, whether that be 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, whether that be a combination of some of the things are on a 1 year warranty, some of the things are under a 2 or a 5 or a 10. A lot of builders offer this type of warranty, which is a great thing that you do not get when you buy a pre-existing home. So there's a little bit less worry when it comes to worrying about things going wrong, because you know some of the things are covered under a warranty, which is obviously a really, really good thing. And you always want a warranty. Normally get this for free. Builders just provide it, and they're going to come back, do the work if anything goes wrong, which is a really, really good thing. Now, you do get a warranty. Yes, great thing. But one of the cons of buying new builds is that there's less options to back out compared to buying a pre-existing home. Now, the reason I say this is when you have a pre-existing home, the first week or so is normally called your option period. And you pay for this, you pay about $100, you get an option period, which means you get an inspection. If there's anything you don't like, you can back out and get all your earnest money back. And your earnest money is about 1% of the house. In a new build house, you still have to give that 1% earnest money, but there's no option period, usually. Usually how it works is the builder has their own contract, their own terms and stipulations, which means once you've pulled the trigger, once you've signed the contract, there isn't really any backing out without you losing that earnest money. If you did back out, the builder would normally keep that earnest money. There's no option period, there's nothing like that. Which means, yes, you should be getting a home inspection, but the results of that home inspection don't allow you to just back out for whatever reason possible. It gives you good knowledge, but you can't just back out for whatever reason possible. There's a lot of the good builders, if you find something, they will fix it for you, which is really good, but you do not have that option period in the builder's contract usually. So there's a little bit less peace of mind, but like I said, with the warranty, you shouldn't have to worry too much about things going wrong because usually it's covered under the warranty. Our last pro is going to be, the process is pretty black and white. You know what you're getting in most circumstances with a builder. Because it is brand new, there are less surprises when it comes to things going wrong. There are less things to go wrong compared to if you just bought a 100-year-old house. The builder can give you their plans. You know exactly how big the rooms are because the builder knows this information. You know exactly what the insulation is like. You can speak to the builder, you can get all of this information, and it's pretty black and white. The process, the builder contract should explain the process as well, and you know what you're getting in the big scheme of things, which is really, really nice for some people who are a little bit worried about buying a used house or a lived-in house. They don't know what things people are hiding. With a builder, it's mainly just business. You know what you're getting. Here are the plans. This is what your house is going to look like. Here are all the measurements, and you know what you're getting, which really takes a little bit of the stress off the plate compared to buying a pre-existing home. But because of this is going to go into our last con. Now, some people say that new build homes nowadays don't really have any personality. I can see both sides of this argument because there are some houses I go in, especially in the lower price range, where they have the same floor plans. So every single home built by the builder looks almost exactly the same on the inside. A lot of the times on the outside, there's a lot of different styles, so it doesn't look exactly the same, but the inside is fairly cookie cutter. Now, to me, it doesn't really matter too much, especially if you're buying a starter house. You know you're not going to be in the house forever. A lot of the homes are really nice on the inside, but if you go in 10 of them, they look almost exactly the same. They have the same floor plan. They look exactly the same, which, I mean, shows that the builder does it often and they know what they're doing and they've just built a lot of the houses. But if you're wanting a little bit of personality in your home with the layout, which obviously you can add with furniture, with art, with things like that afterwards. But if you want a house that doesn't look like everyone else's house in the neighborhood, you might not want to go with a spec home, a new build house. You may want to go with a custom builder. I just wanted to bring it up that a lot of people say that the new build houses nowadays just all look the same and they have no personality, but it will be up to you to decide whether that is a deal breaker for you. Well, that is it. That is my 6 pros and cons about buying a new build home here in Tyler. If you've made it to the end of the video, thank you very, very much for watching. Like I said, my name is Ronnie Withers. And if you want to move to the Tyler area, if you're looking at buying a new build home, then please reach out, give me a call, shoot me a text or send me an email, and we'll get you into your dream Tyler new build home. If you have any questions at all about buying a new build home, please leave them in the comment box below. Please like the video if you like the video. And until next time, cheerio.